Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here and you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to get connected with the UVH fam, links are below for our free options trading group along with our Discord. What's going on? Thanks for everyone that was waiting. I think, I'm maybe like 30 seconds late today. If you're here right now, say what up. I see FC. Billy was up in here. Who else is in here? Alex. Got Samuel. Samuel Vargas. What's going on? How you guys doing today? Hope everyone is having a good day. T5, what's going on? I've got to crack open my Coke here. Hold on. Terrible. Terrible. Been a bit of a crazy day. Volatility looks like we're re-entering the market. Super perspective. What's going on? You got another? I got a whole case, Samuel. You come over. We'll pop some Cokes. Talk about the market. Hang out. Definitely. So, but yeah, I got a whole case. We got cases. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. T5, I wish I was sponsored by Coke. Actually, I don't wish because I would probably just get fat. I definitely don't recommend. The thing is that I said this before. I'm not addicted to Coke, but I am addicted to caffeine. So I drink a lot of coffee in the morning, and then the afternoon is like, well, I don't want to go full coffee. I've had a lot of coffee all day. Coke gives me that kind of extra little... I know it sounds bad, but it's true. Andrew, promise I won't bring up the dollar wide UVXY or 60 put 70 Roku's guys. Andrew, I don't know, man. I don't know. Roku was insane. Kit, thanks so much for the $2, man. Appreciate it. Blue Ridge Pups got paid. Dariana Felix, hi. What up? FC learned a lesson. Yeah, I lost. Looks like I lost about $80 today. Not great. And 30 of that was due to my Goldman Sachs trade. Nick is addicted to trading, addicted to Coke. Daniel, finally green day after 2 weeks. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. So, we had some decent volatility in the last few days coming off of being, let's see, what's VIX at right now? VIX is at still not great. It's at 1659. What is VIX at? Yeah, VIX is still. I mean, VIX still looks descending, but at least it's not 13 anymore. When you get into like the 13 and 12 area, it gets a little dicey. Yeah, Tesla getting crazy after hours. Bought a Friday Lotto last minute. Yeah, I have the 340 calls for next week. I was actually hoping that it would have a little bit of run up for that Model Y news. Next week, however, Tesla kind of got the double whammy. They lost Consumer Reports recommendation, and then shortly after that, China, they had that issue with the Chinese imports on their Model 3. So Hamad's been learning a lesson since Jan 1st. Hamed, you're gonna get out after this quarter. You're gonna be good. We'll get some volatility back. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. I was get sponsored too. Yeah, for these videos, just to kind of clarify, I don't get sponsored by Coke or Thinkorswim or Tastyworks or Robinhood or anybody. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what I do here. Nobody. Except for you guys, I guess, and I appreciate you. 285 was in the mid 70s. Costco had earnings, right? Wow. Anyone holding Costco? I haven't been trading earnings just because earnings just has not been moving, but this is pretty good. Costco, so 224. So we're see if it'll close this gap up here from the last earnings. Kind of interesting how it would close the gap from the last earnings. You know, Drutko, what's going on? Chathan, what's going on? Nice playing Apex until I wasn't anymore. Oh man, that was messed up. Malcolm, appreciate you, man. Andrew bought the 275 Tesla. Yeah, so the market, what did it have? Did it have almost a 1%? Yeah, it was actually down. It was actually down 1% at one point in time. Dow's currently down 195. Let's see what were the lows of Dow. So it actually dropped to 25,338. So it was actually down what, like 300 points, like 300 points at one point today. Yeah, I mean the one thing that I would say, I think that it's good for bringing back a two-sided market. You know, CMG is a good stock, but I wouldn't buy premium in there. I would only sell premium. I made some good money selling premium in there, but buying premium on Chipotle is rough. And I think I talked about it yesterday a little bit. I don't know if you were here, Andrew, we were discussing stocks with low volume. Selling options is a lot easier to sell options than there is to buy options, because it's easier to do the math when you just sell the width of the strikes, you know? I'm doing Tesla 285 calls tomorrow. Make it or lose it. Yeah, what was 285? Tesla 285. Tesla for tomorrow. The 285s, yeah, they were going for like 70 cents. 67, 77. So you probably can get them for like 73 or so. 73. Last price was 70 cents. Huh. Yeah, as the market was like pretty much crashing this morning. Well, I wouldn't say crash. It's not a crash. It was a controlled drop. You know, Tesla was moving up. You can see here, SPY moving down, Tesla moving up. But really, the only things that were green today was on my list here: Tesla, of course, VIX, oil, bonds were up a little bit. That was about it. I did put on a trade FXI for next week. I put a trade on FXI for next week. I got the 4450s, I believe. FXI, yeah, 4450s for next week. Now, if you haven't traded FXI, I did talk about, I put a video out last week about FXI in the ETF video. You know, these calls actually went down from 91 cents down to 18 cents. I paid 19 cents and 20 cents for these. Yo, Baron, what up? So I got the 4450s, see if we can get a little bit of a bounce. The only thing that you have to be aware of with the FXI is that it's very, very news induced. Like, it's based on Chinese news, and I get what you're saying with, you know, right now, browser, yeah, Trump is going to do whatever he can to make a deal with China, I believe, mainly because he's getting in a bad position. The one thing that will be very interesting is, let's say we do make a deal with China. Let's say we make a deal with China. What I think will be very interesting is if the market goes up for like maybe like a week, maybe 2 weeks or something like that, and then we sell off hard. I think that will be very telling. So far numbers haven't been doing very well. You know, CNBC. Let's see what CNBC put out today. Even though, like, you know, you can't, but you can believe what the reports are. Let's see here. Today they did say U.S. households see biggest decline in net worth since the financial crisis. Now, I think that title is probably a little misleading. Does that mean? Because I know that my home value didn't drop like crazy amount of money in the last year or something like that. Does that mean they just haven't been growing or what? You know what I mean? And then ECB slashes European growth forecast, so that's not good. And then let's see here. It says Q4 productivity rose 1.9% versus 1.6%, so I guess that's good. Tomorrow we do have the non-farm payrolls, so we have the payroll report tomorrow. So that's why, that's why I didn't really want to hold anything into tomorrow, and it seemed like SPY was moving up this morning pre-market, and then just dropped like a rock after the ECB slashed growth. 45 too far. For FXI, the thing is FXI topped out here at like 45. Same for up here. It did go to 45.26 here on February 25th. But like when I'm buying things for, like, say, I try not to buy it at those. I try not to buy at resistance. So like if resistance is 45, I try to buy under that. So it'd be like I would buy like 45, 44, 50, something like that. I would try, like for me personally, I wouldn't buy 45 because you don't really make any money if it hits 45 and gets rejected, right? But if it goes from 44.50 to 45, I can close it out for a nice little win. Not going to be, FXI, you kind of have to manage your expectations, and you kind of have to get into a good rotation. FXI does move. It has moved like this week, but you have to be aware that it's kind of a slow stock. You have to buy like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out. And puts on FXI, they were up a bit. They were up more. Theta must have knocked wrong expiration. So puts for this week's expiration, they were actually up 700%, 400%. But you have to be aware that you have to trade where the volume is, and there's volume on this week's expiration. There's volume on the monthlies, but when you go to like some of these weeklies, like let's say go to the 29th, no volume here, no volume on the March 29th. But on the monthlies, if you go to like April, nice volume here, and probably so. If you're trading far out, you probably want to trade the monthly some volume here. So, you just have to understand how certain products trade, and that way you can make money off of it. But FXI usually moves up on it's usually a gap up or gap downer, and then kind of goes flat the rest of the day, and then it waits for overnight news, and then gaps up and gaps down. That's just the way that it moves. So it's not like you're going to make crazy money, even though yes, the puts are up 700%, but it's kind of like you always have to have a position on to kind of, if you want to make those kind of returns. You'll never guess. Like I did a video yesterday, you'll never be able to time the market. You'll never be able to guess if FXI is going to move up or move down big, unless you know something about the China trade deal, which I talked to a few of my friends and none of them have a clue. That doesn't say anything about my friends. It just means that I'm a nobody. Ron, did I cover SPX? I did not. Not yet. Barron's in the 46 calls for next week. Man, that's a big ask. It's a big ask. IWM. But yeah, we can talk about Ron. We can talk about SPX. I did talk about SPY a little bit here. IWM, if you guys don't know what it is, it's the Russell ETF. Tracks the Russell. Small cap stocks. Man, that thing it's getting murdered these last few days. What I would say though is when we have a run, literally we ran from December 26th to February 22nd. We had a 2-month run. I mean, a little bit of pullback's not even putting a dent in it, you know. Um, it would have been nice to have more two-sided action in this going on up. And honestly, I'm not sure why we wouldn't have more two-sided action. Yes, we went down really quick. We came up a lot slower. But like, why would we not have more two-sided action? Now we're starting to see some two-sided action. It would be nice for it to trade back in the range 160 to 145 and just trade the ranges again. You know, definitely will make some coin. You know, if you guys have been trading options for a while, or you know, whatever, you guys, most of you guys know that when things trade in ranges like Tesla, or like in here, or whether it's SPX, SPY, or anything, when they're trading ranges, options traders make the most money because there's two-sided action, and options traders get rewarded when there's two-sided action. And it's you can do a lot of things when the market is two-sided versus when it's one-sided. Then you're like, you know, if you would have told me the market was going to go after this, if you were to told me the market was going to go up for 2 months straight after we had the biggest decline in a long time, or years, I mean, everyone thought you were crazy, and that's why it does what it does. I mean, the market. I think the market does. I mean, the market does what it wants to do, but it doesn't matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter. The market. Nobody knows where the market's going to go or end up. You could have a good idea. You know, people with more experience, you know, they definitely know how to trade those environments in different environments. But nobody, if you were to call up Warren Buffett and be like, hey, is the market going to go up for the next 2 months? He'd be like, you know, I honestly don't know. I don't know. He doesn't know. He bases his investments on valuations and time. And, you know, same with options trading. When you place an options trade, you're deciding, hey, it's going to be this price or below this price by this point in time. You know? And man, that's just nuts. Yeah, and then Trump tweets and makes the market go crazy. So I mean, I would say that I'm not going to get political or anything here, but Trump likes to have a direct influence over the market. The market, you know, when we were hitting all-time highs every day, we kept going up. He was the first one to tweet like, oh, you know, another green day, market, you know, Dow 25,000, Dow 24,000, you know, whatever the case is. And then we started to get a little toppy and things got a little crazy when, you know, it's kind of like when people start bragging about the market or bragging about, oh, I made X amount of money, or, you know, I make so much money. Just wait, like, you'll be humbled soon. And then, you know, we started to decline. We started to have some issues. I mean, the market can't go up every day. The market can't go down every day either. But, you know, I think the way that it went up, I think people were putting a lot of hope and trust in the policies. Like the market went crazy with the tax changes. The market went crazy when Trump got elected. But the question is, any of those catalysts, like, what has Trump done for the market other than get elected? What has Trump done for taxes other than, you know, maybe I mean, we don't know yet. I haven't done my taxes yet, but maybe people are getting more money. Are they, if they're saving more money, are they spending that money and putting that money back into the economy, or is it just going into their savings for a rainy day fund and nobody ever sees it until the next recession? You know, it almost hit 11,000. I was scared it would drop below, short of the market. Yeah, I mean, I don't typically trade IWM. I have traded in the past, but it does definitely small caps get hit hard when the market gets hit. Like, if it seems like when the market gets hit, the money comes out of the small caps first. My parents paid over $3K. Yeah, I just know that when they changed the insurance, My insurance went up like 30% or so. It was nuts. It was like, you know, 226 Costco. Oh man, that is crazy. So the question is, I'll be looking at Costco. The question tomorrow. The question is it gonna sell off, or is it gonna? I mean, that will be the question for tomorrow. Will this? You know, we're closing the gap here on Costco. 226 just closed the gap. Can it maintain? Is things gonna happen that's crazy? You know, in order, I feel when politics are involved, it gets very tricky because there's things that are outside of our control. It doesn't matter how good Costco does. It doesn't matter. But if they say, hey, they call up and say, hey, you know, China doesn't want to have a deal, what do you think is going to happen? You know? And now that we're in this trade war, somebody has to win it. And I know that Trump said, hey, trade wars are easy to win. But I mean, like, are they? Are they? I would say China has leverage. China's a big power. I mean, they're not like a small country. They a lot of American companies have relationship with China. My father-in-law pays about $16,000 a year here in Texas, though he's a subcontractor. Yeah, Jose. I live in Illinois. Pay a lot. I pay a lot. A lot of taxes. A lot. It hurts. A lot. Tim Apple has a relationship with China. Yeah. Yeah, I mean Tim Apple, you know, I wish I could move to Texas or Florida or somewhere now. Yeah, Tim Apple, Trump asked them, hey, why can't you make stuff in America? Why can't you do this in America? And the reality is, there's not enough people to fill those jobs. Is the problem? Like, it's not physically possible. Yes, it is if you want your iPhone to cost $5,000, but nobody wants that. Mr. Miggs, learn some lessons. Don't worry. Hopefully volatility comes back. You'll be smashing the green left and right. You know, with options trading, volatility is key. Also, when the market has more volatility, it allows you to kind of cover up your mistakes. So let's say you did like a bullish strangle and it goes against you. Chances are you're going to get to break even faster than you would in a slow market when you're wrong. 5,000 iPhone YOLO Apple calls. Yeah, I mean Apple's in trouble too, but Apple's, I don't know if you want to call it a peak or something, but releasing a new iPhone is not going to really do a whole lot for them unless it's something crazy. I mean, as you can see by their stock price, it's not really being rewarded right now. Chart's pretty ugly. Still mid-range from where it was last year. Had a nice rip up, but just can't pull together. If you're wrong on a strangle right now, it hurts bad. It hurts bad. You may be able to recoup some, but it's gonna hurt. GS, talking about that, GS I had a strangle on today. I put it on for $1. What did I put it on for? GS. $1.33. I ended up selling it for 98 cents. I had the 192. I had the 192.50 call and the 187.50 put, and I was looking for a quick day trade. I put it on Facebook and also on Discord. I was looking for a quick a day trade on it, and it bounced up pretty nice. I was up about 20%, and it was holding pretty nice. Thought I was going to consolidate, kind of have the next leg up. However, I went out to lunch, had some Portillo's, came back, and we were chilling down in here. And it expires tomorrow. We have like an hour left to close. I didn't really want to take a chance, so I closed it. It cost me. I was down like $30 on it. I guess $35, $33, I think. So I had $33.98. Yeah, so $35 on it. And then right after I close it rips back up to here, and it would have been, you know, that position at close GS. Let's see here. We had the 192.50. So $1.36. So I would have got my $30 back plus $3. Reginald, how do I get feeds on stocks is the best to pick? Are you talking about like scanners? Or are you talking about how do I? So there's a handful of stocks that I look at, and also I develop my own watch list over here of stocks that I like to trade and the stocks that I'm most successful at trading. I've traded a lot of stocks, I've traded a lot of products, and I've developed my own watch list basically. And I scan this watch list to see if there's anything moving. As you know, with trading options, you have to trade stocks that are moving. So that's why, like, when you guys watch me, I'm trading a lot of the same stocks like GS or Tesla or Square. FXI is like a newer one, or SPY. So you want to get stocks that you're comfortable with and trading. You know, from time to time I'll trade Facebook. I trade a lot of Alibaba, trade Apple, and for my personality and the way that I like to trade more tech stocks. It just the way it works, and also when you're trading options, you want to trade like growth stocks. So, you know, that's why people trading Coke and Ford and stuff have problems, because those stocks are no longer growth stocks. GE today? What did GE today do? Yeah, you want the most liquidity on it, but you also want stocks that are moving as well. And GE. All right, so GE makes another run at 10. I will try to short that again. I'm glad I stayed disciplined and not shorted it when it was up here. It started to crack, because then it totally did a reverse here. But GE, I wouldn't be surprised to see it between 7 and 8 again. FC, I'm doing it. How dare you, Bashford? The other thing is, like, I know that the reason why a lot of people trade forward stuff. I mean, yes, you can make money. A lot of Robinhood traders trade it because cheap options, you can trade it with a small account. I think over forward, I think would be better to trade if you want to trade options on something like that. GE and Snap are probably the better ones. You know, Snap today, you know, single digit stock here, dropped nearly $1 before recovering. I mean, this is some nice volatility in Snap today. Had a nice drop, recovery, and just kind of faded. So okay, I don't care for America. Yeah, I was joking with my brother a long time ago when we were making a lot of money when it was Priceline. Instead of BKNG, it was Priceline PCLN. And I was joking that the amount of money that we were making on PCLN, I was gonna get a license plate on my car, PCLN. I didn't do it though. Someone sent that to Discord. Nice. Yeah, I don't drive Ford or GM either. It was FC. It might have been. I can look at the chart. It might have been like 2016. I don't know if they still have it up down here. You gotta look at BKNG now. Yeah, when was this? Yeah, I think it was in like 2016 range when it was coming up from here. Went from 954 up to like 1600, and then it went up to 2000. That was a good time. That was a good time. Made a lot of money selling puts. Yeah, most of you guys haven't seen me sell premium. I used to be a big premium seller. Lately, for the last couple of years, I've been buying premium, and mainly I've been doing it just out of preference. Best thing to happen after losing 100 this week. Jose, so Ford. So here's my thoughts on Ford and GM and all that. You know, it's no longer a growth stock, and like, what do I mean by that? Is it's kind of like you reach a point of saturation where you fill a need. You know, over the last 5 years, if you held Ford stock, you're down 50%. So at some point in time, you reach a certain market saturation where you're just filling a need. People buy new cars because they need one replaced. They're not, it's back in the day, people were buying new cars because they had a horse. That's when Ford's considered a growth stock. Now, Ford is making money just off of vehicles being replaced. Not really, you know, people, there's new people on the road, but there's also a lot more competition than there was 100 years ago, right? So that's why I say, like, I'm not bashing Ford or anything, but in terms of business, you know, Ford's no longer a growth stock. The way they make money is by selling X amount of cars, and they just fill a need. It's kind of like Apple now. You know, Apple, nobody had an iPhone. Now everybody has an iPhone. I mean, despite Android, everybody has some sort of smartphone right now. And the reason to get a new iPhone is because yours breaks, or you like Face ID, or whatever the case is. You know, it's kind of the same theory. It's not that you're not meeting you've already met the demand. Now you're servicing the demand. So that's my thoughts. You know, whether you think that's right or that's wrong, you know, those are my thoughts in terms of business. Right now, you're servicing demand versus trying to meet demand. Like Tesla, they have a list of orders and they're trying to meet demand. They are not servicing demand. Jose has left the chat. So I'm not saying Ford's bad or anything. I'm just telling you what, in terms of, I'm not talking about the stock. I'm talking about the business. And the business, a lot of people forget that the business is the underlying of why a stock moves, right? You know, why does a stock go up or down? It's because a business does well, or business does poorly, or if you have shady accounting practices and the SEC comes after you, or there's FBI probe because your company's shady. The company takes a hit, but so does the shares. Same thing. Buzz. All right, let's talk about SPY, SPX. So if anyone's here, SPY, SPX, pretty much the same thing. Let's go to the 1 year here. The one thing that I would say about SPY here is, you know, it definitely got rejected again at 281, which is the fourth time. Well, technically the fifth time in the last year. So last March 2018, got rejected here. Got rejected here. I just didn't really think that, because we were stalled out and just chilling, I thought we were kind of going to have a slow grind up, like I was talking about the other day before when we were just hanging out here. Like back in July when we were just hanging out here, we were hanging out and then it slow grinded its way back up. And then this looked like the same type of pattern where it was just chilling, and it looked like we were going to slow grind our way back up. But I think what's happening now is that bad news is starting to catch up. And what I mean by bad news is worldwide, globally, bad news, like economies have been running hot, and maybe they're starting to slow down. And when there's a sign of slowdown, people get scared. When there's a sign of slowdown or economic growth starts to halt, that's when money starts to get sucked out of the market. I'm not looking at Ford as a growth stock, but more of a beatdown company, still has a massive market share. Yeah, I mean, you can, Jose, I'm not beating, everyone has a different perspective. I'm just saying, like, if the reason is you're trading Ford is because it's a small price stock and it's has cheap options to trade, personally, I would prefer to trade Snap over GE. Yeah, FC exhaustion. I mean, but the thing is, I was actually really surprised by the way that this was getting bought up. I thought that we would, in my mind, how I kind of pictured it was, okay, we had this final crack here in December. It just broke down past 260 and just was looking like it was just not going to stop. Not going to stop. And, any major sell-off, there's going to be some two-sided action. You're going to try to figure that out. We had no two-sided action. It just went down and went straight back up. And based on my experience, like in 2015 and stuff, when things like this happened, it went straight up and then we went to all-time highs. So, I didn't trade. I was not trading in the last recession, in 2008. I mean, I really wish I was. The best thing that we could do, people, and the weird thing is, you have all these experts, right? All these analysts saying we're gonna hit a recession in 2020, which, I mean, we could not, but also the amount of data these people have access to, like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, these big banks, they have access to different things that we don't have access to. But they might not always be, I mean, you would like to think that everybody's respectful and everybody's saying the right thing, but that's not always the case. So like I was saying in here in 2015, we had some rip downs, we had some two-sided action, then it went right back up. And then, yes, we didn't end up lower, but, we had this rip down and then we went back up. This was a lot more, this sell-off that we had in December was a lot more dramatic, and we ripped down a lot faster than we did back in here. I mean, these dips were massive. However, back here, it was 210 was the limit. And if you look in 2015, how many times did we tap 210? Many times. And it just wasn't going anywhere. Just tapped it, rejected, and just kept happening until that one day, tapped it, rejected hard, came down to 182. But was back up within a couple months. Now, if we go back, if you're ever like, well, I wasn't trading back then, or I don't know how to, all this data is public. You can go back as far as you want to go back. If you want to look at the charts and compare them to how they look now, like, how to get better at trading is taking the time to go back into the charts and understanding of where we've been, so you can decide where we're going to go and see how the charts reacted. Never trade like, hey, I just started trading this month. Well, you never traded sharp drops or huge rip-ups. You don't know what's going on. You can go back to the charts like, oh, how did the market react to this? How did the market react in here to recovery here? And we were up at 140, came down to 67. Look, SPY was 140. It came down to 67. Think about that. The market took a 50% haircut in, let's see, in about 7 months, 8 months. 50%. The market lost 50% of its valuation within 7 months. After a massive run. So if you don't think it could happen, it could happen. Could we drop from 275 down to 180? Could we drop from 275 down to 150? Yes. I mean, absolutely. Let's go back to the most famous bubble of them all. The most famous bubble of them all. The great .com bubble, tech bubble, whatever you want to call it. America's great. We're the best. Microsoft, all these companies we're getting, you know, the online boom, eBay, pets.com, diapers.com, everything is going up. Everything is going great. America's the best. We're going to lead it, blah, blah, blah. We go from 75 up to 150. The market doubles in 3 years. The market doubles in 3 years. And then gets cut back in half in 2.5 years. You know? Stop, you're scaring. No, I'm just trying to be realistic. Like if people like, oh, the stock market can't go up 50%. It could go up 50%. Well, the market can't go down. The market can't go down more than 25%. Well, why? The market I've just proven here, the market can go down 50%. I mean, if the market goes down 100%, I mean, we're in big trouble, you know. But you know, if the market goes down 100%, we're going to be doing something else. You know, we're gonna be trying to, you know, I don't know what we're going to be doing, but it's not going to be good. I'm going to be walking my way to Florida because I'm not sticking through homeless in Chicago. That's for sure. If the stock market goes to zero, I'm going to be walking to Florida. As long as it's not underwater. You know, get the Bloomberg terminal, only $20,000 a year. Yeah, let's get a Bloomberg terminal. Let's crowdsource that and we'll provide remote access. Yeah, and so what's the stock market up with Donald Trump in office? About 25% or so, 20%, 25%. So a little bit of pullback. I mean, if we go, we've just had a massive, massive run. I mean, SPY was 5 years ago, 150, and we almost hit 300. You know, you really need to. When we had this run from 180, nonstop run, 180 to 288. You know, you kind of have to think. You kind of have to think, is this the final leg up before the crash? I'm not saying, I mean, if the stock market crashes, it's fine. Like the good news is I think that people undervalue, especially young people. When the stock market crashes, people get scared because they don't understand what it means. You know, they look at the short term. When the stock market crashes, they look at the short term and they're thinking, well, now I can't get a job, or now I can't do this, or now I can't do that, or oh, when I get out of college, there's not going to be any jobs, you know. And like in 2008, you know, 2008, that was all my friends. I graduated high school in 2004. 2008, we had the Great Recession. None of my friends was getting jobs. No, nothing like that. In 2008, I decided to go into business, start a business. I've been doing it, you know, been doing it ever since, like 2007, 2008. Been doing it ever since. And, you know, you make it. The thing about the stock market crashes is even if you go down, let's say SPY goes down 50%, you know, worst case scenario. To have that go down in your lifetime, you have the opportunity to buy as much as you can to accumulate a great wealth in your lifetime. I don't think you understand that. You have the most opportunities. If the stock market crashes, that's the best thing that could happen to us young people in our lifetime. You know, if the stock market crashes, you'll be able to buy property for cheap. Like, you'll be able to buy homes for cheap. You'll be able to buy, however you need to have capital. You have to have liquid assets to be able to take advantage of situations. And that's why it's important to start building those up. Start building up those cash reserves for when the stock market crashes. I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow or this week or whatever, but let's say we did get a 50% haircut. I think that's going to be the best thing for people in their 30s and 40s or 20s. And if you're 18 and you got $50,000, you're going to be a millionaire by the time you're 40 or 50 or whatever the case is. Also, you get to buy a lot of stocks, you get to buy property, and also we get to ride puts on the way down. You know, seems like a good. And also when the volatility is high, so let's say we get a 50% haircut, like we go back down to, let's go back into here. Let's look at these charts here. You know, nice two-sided action. Yes, just because we went down doesn't mean you go straight down. Nice two-sided action up in here. So you're making money two-sided. I mean, obviously you want to be more skewed bearish, but you can make some good money being bullish in this too, especially like down right in here. You know, this was the final leg down, dropped to 83, came back up to 106, back down to 80, back up to 100, back down to 75. I mean, this is some good money to be made right in here. This is some really good money. Obviously, premium is going to be rich. You got to be careful, but option pricing was probably most likely undervaluing the move, just like when we saw in 2018. Just like when we saw in here like we saw up in here, the market was undervaluing the move. When the market started, when options started to get really expensive, is when we started going down every day. When we started to go down every day, I started to cut back because I was afraid that we were starting to overpay so much. We started to overpay in options down in this crash here, that I was afraid that it was just going to stop, and that way you're just going to instantly lose money, which it didn't happen. But you got to think about that, because it could just hit a bottom and just stall out for a week or 2 days, or even one day would really hurt premiums after being down so much. I mean, we had like back-to-back 500 down Dow days, 1,000 point down days. I mean, it was nuts. Yeah, I mean, like I said, FC it could happen. I'm not saying that the stock market's going to crash 50%. It may not crash 50% ever again. I don't know. But I'm saying is, if the stock market does crash 50%, I would think it's short term, it's going to be painful for especially people that are vulnerable. But if you take the opportunity, if you take the risk and you build multiple streams of income, it's not going to hurt you very much. It's not going to hurt you as bad. Like if you just clock in, clock out one day, they can tell you not to come back tomorrow, and then you're out of your stream of income. If you're relying on one stream of income, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the economy is doing well, doing poor. If you have one stream of income, you're in trouble. Not only are you capping your gains, but it's not safe. It's like, would you get onto a plane or a boat without a life vest? You know, would you do that? Would you get onto a boat without, like, get onto a cruise ship and say, hey guys, just want to let you know, there's no life jackets, there's no boats. If we go down, no one's gonna come for us. You know, it's gonna be cold. Well, try to swim the best you can. I mean, would you do that? Would you do that? No. You would be like, no, I'm not getting on that boat, man. Like, screw that. Screw that. I'm not messing with that. You know, and that's the same thing. Like, if you're relying on one income, you know, it's not about how much money you make or how much, you know, it could be small streams of income. You could make 200 here, 200 a month here, 200 there, whatever. It adds up. Start accumulating those streams of income. Start understanding how that works. Like trading, if you work a job and trading is your side hustle, great. Save that money, stack that cash. Use that cash to do something else. Keep trading, keep adding streams of income, you know? And that's, if you do get in trouble, let's say we do get in trouble and they say, hey, there's no jobs, have a nice day, take it easy. You're like, okay, we're not in good shape because I lost my mainstream income, but I'm not going to be eating out of the garbage can tonight. We got some opportunity to make these other things work while I try to find another job. You know, maybe you'll get unemployment or whatever the case is, but you want something coming in. You know, nothing coming in and stuff going out. You can only survive so long, and you don't know how long a recession will last. You don't know how long. Last recession, the market recovered pretty fast. You don't know if it's going to be like a 5-year, like if you look at like in the 80s when inflation was out of control, you don't know the extent of it. Could SPY go down to 100? Absolutely. Quality content here. Don't worry, Jose. We just grind here. I don't worry about anyone else. I just grind. We get a lot of love here. I get hate every once in a while, but we keep it moving, man. We keep it moving. The main thing with this channel, it allows me to connect with you guys in terms of traders. I don't have anyone. There's very few people in my personal life that I connect to trading, and then gives me an outlet to kind of share my trades and also get some feedback from you guys on, I overall just enjoy talking about the market and hanging out with you guys, and that's why I like to interact with the chat. Like some people, when they stream and stuff, they don't interact with the chat. I like to interact with the chat because, it makes it real. Do you ever trade credit spreads? I do, Daniel. I did say it earlier in the stream that I used to do mostly credit selling, selling spreads, iron condors, that kind of thing. Recently, I kind of backed off from that due to I just don't enjoy it as much. I still do them, just it's been a while. Dariana, appreciate you. UVH is the home of the real. Yeah, like at the end of the day, I just want to keep it real. I want to keep it authentic. I just want, I expose when I make money. I expose when I lose money. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, then don't come back. I'm still going to be here. Still going to be here doing it. I love trading. I love talking about the stock market. I love doing what I'm doing. FC, I was selling a lot of premium in CMG on its way down. I was selling most of it. When it was between, let's say, the 550 range and the 400 range, and then it started to get harder to make money in here, and I wasn't sure which way I was going, so I pretty much stopped down in here. So I stopped selling premium in Chipotle down in here. And the reason why is I had a really good grasp on the business, and then I not stopped understanding Chipotle as a business, but I was afraid that it was going up a lot, and they were one bad burrito away from it just tanking, and it was not worth the risk. Obviously, it did what it did, but I got burned a couple times down in here based on news-related events, and it was just like back-to-back stuff and just was unrelenting, and then so I stopped, and then so now that it's recovering, maybe it might be a good trade up here at like the 600s, but it's tough. So maybe I'll open some credit spreads up in Chipotle. How do I save tax for short-term trade? You can't. You can't get out of taxes. They don't let you. So when you're trading with your brokerage, whatever you trade there, profit or loss, gets reported to the IRS, which means you have to report that profit or loss, and then your tax on your short-term rate. I've been out for 10 days, but no one and nothing keep me down. Let's go easy. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Hope you're feeling well. Hit me up. Hit me up on message. I don't know, Discord or Facebook or whatever you want to do. Hit me up. Would like to chat with you. Tesla. Well, to be fair, what's Tesla? $55 billion market cap or something? At least the government's open again. You can get a refund. Easy. Oh, man. I don't know if that's good or bad for, I mean, I'm guessing long term. But I hope you're doing well, man. Yo, Ron, what up? Oh, you sent me a hello? Oh yeah, Ron, I see you on the Discord here. Yeah, we have, what's been pretty interesting is that we got almost 500 members in the Discord, and we have about 1,500 members on the Facebook group. And I don't really advertise it or anything like that. I just put it on the when I open up my opening statement, I guess you could call it. No more cancers. Congrats, man. I'm gonna send you a deep dish pizza. I'm gonna send you Illuminati's pizza. Easy. Congrats, man. I'm happy for you. And I can see that you've experienced some pain, but I'm glad that you're gonna be okay. I'll hit you up, but I'm gonna send you Illuminati's pizza. So I'm gonna hit you up after the stream and collect some information from you to get that done. I know I ranted for about 30 minutes here. We're almost up to an hour. Anything else, you guys, before we sign off? Yeah, FC, they ship international. Easy, I got you, man. I got you. We got to take care of our own. Yeah, Luminatis. Yeah, they do ship. I'll trade you a Philly cheesesteak. I'm interested, T5. Easy, the market's definitely in an interesting place. Just got rejected at 281 on the SPY. So Trump, I guarantee you right now, Trump is scrambling to make a deal because I think that he's going to feel the pain. He wants to get reelected. And the way for him to get reelected is to brag about the market, which, I mean, it makes sense. Like if the economy is doing well, most people don't want to rock the boat, even though it gets a little crazy sometimes. You know. However, I don't know. Second and last term of Trump, I don't know what, knowing that he's not going to get reelected no matter what, I don't know what's going to go up. Yeah, you could trade SPX to save on taxes and commissions. You could also, there's also a list of other ETFs too that you could trade as well. I agree with that, night friend. SPX, I sell, it's good for selling premium as well. SPX, if you're looking for those higher price premiums, SPX, and they have good liquidity, and they have, they also expire 3 days a week as well. So, anyways, nice chatting with you all. It's been an hour. Appreciate you guys and girls. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay green. It's always us versus herd.